Victor Tice of North Babylon recently received an appointment to the United States Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Well, I did the summer seminars at West Point Naval Academy, and I found out I didn't like the Army, and I didn't really like the Naval Academy, so that left the Air Force to me. And both my parents were also Air Force enlisted, so the Air Force was a clear decision for me. I plan to have a full-length career of 30-plus years, and in the Air Force I want to be either a B-52 or a U-2 pilot. Just going to the academy, it's filled with people of the highest caliber. I love to be in a place just full of good people. It's very good to surround yourself with good people, I think, so I'm really looking forward to that.
He and 8 other appointees from Long Island were honored and congratulated recently at a special event at the Milleridge Inn in Jericho. Erin O'Brien from Northport is another appointee who says she's looking forward to attending the academy.
I'm really excited about the academy. It's like an excellent opportunity, and I've always wanted to be in the military, so I'm just really excited about it. A little nervous, but I'm pretty excited. I went out to the academy in March, and I really loved it. It was a really cool place. I know it'll challenge me in a way I've never been challenged before, and I'm just really excited about the opportunity and to go beyond the island, I guess.
Feeling great. Ever since I got the appointment notice, everything's just been going great. I've been flying since last April. I've done Navy and Air Force, and ultimately I chose Air Force just because it's the career path I really want to go towards, a more technical career path. And I love the school, and I just love the service as a whole.
I'm excited and nervous at the same time because this summer's going to be real tough, but I know I can do it with all my friends here.
I'm feeling great. I went to the prep school last year, so I already have a year under my belt, and I'm just ready to get it started and everything.
Feel good, and I'm looking forward to basic training, and not really going so early, but I'm prepared for it. So
I'm very excited, but I'm a little nervous at the same time. It's a big step in my life now. I know I'm going to have a lot of fun there. It puts me a lot of hard work at the same time. So I'm looking forward to learning more and becoming more mature as a man, because I want to be a fighter pilot, and I'm going to go through a lot of training for that, so I want to be prepared for that.
I was down to Navy and Air Force, and I know I want to serve my country, and the Service Academy is always one of my choice. And I got into both schools, and I chose Air Force over Navy. Going to the academy, the challenge that I'm looking forward to, I'm definitely looking forward to challenge myself. The brotherhood I will build there, I know I can trust everyone, and the friendship will last a lifetime.
Malloy College history professor Dr. Charles Howlett is also an Air Force liaison officer. He gave the keynote address at the event.
An email was sent to me with this news story from Lieutenant Colonel Don Papavero, and it dealt with a group of Army and Air Force men and women who engaged in a search and rescue mission after a plane was shot down. And what stood out is so much publicity has been made, and rightly so, of SEAL Team 6 that we don't realize that every day over in Afghanistan and even in Iraq there are missions like this that go on and is part of the daily lives of military personnel. And the message here was that under constant withering attack, these pararescue men and women and pilots engaged the enemy and did not quit. They were determined to rescue those 2 pilots. Although unfortunately one of the pilots died, they were determined to rescue the other one. So the message that I gave the new appointees to the academy is never quit. And more importantly, I talked about the concept of teamwork, how the Army and the Air Force worked as part of a joint service operation, that we are a team, that we don't give up, that no matter how difficult the challenge, we are not going to quit. And I think that's one of the most important lessons, especially for the new appointees. When they first go to the academy, they have to realize, and they do, that it's not a college. It's a military academy. So they're entering the armed forces. They're going to have to undergo basic training, and they're also going to have to go a rigorous indoctrination, if you wish, in terms of what the Air Force values are and what the mission is. So it's not like summer camp, and it's not like where you can have Animal House. These kids are giving up a lot. And what many people don't realize is that they only get 3 weeks off for their vacations throughout the entire school year. They are constantly involved in training. and in academics. So these are young men and women who are very exceptional. But most importantly, they also bond as a team. And I think one of the important lessons as well that needs to be mentioned is that there are many friendships that will last a lifetime as a result of their academy experience.
Lieutenant Colonel Leo Cunningham is director of the Air Force Liaison Officer Program. He says this is one of the most competitive years for the Air Force Academy.
This year's appointees, we have a little bit more than 20 from the New York metropolitan area. Our area is comprised of Long Island, the 5 boroughs in New York City, and then up north, not quite as far as about Poughkeepsie, out west, a little bit beyond West Point. One of the things that is unique about this year and also next year is that the end strength of the cadet wing, that's the number of cadets that they have at the Air Force Academy, has been drawn down from about 4,500 to 4,000. So this year's class that's being admitted is an extremely competitive class, and even next year will be even more competitive because you have smaller number of students pursuing, or a larger number of students pursuing a smaller number of slots at the academy. The things that we're looking for in an Air Force Academy appointee are that they have to be near the top of their class academically. They've needed to demonstrated leadership, and I'm not talking about just being a member of a club or in an organization, but within that organization have had a leadership role and have gotten results for that organization. It's one of the things that we assess. They have to be of outstanding character, and then also a very strong emphasis on athletics and physical fitness. So those are the primary areas that we're looking on when we interview students who want to go to who aspire to go to the Air Force Academy. And this year's class is outstanding. We have very high hopes for them because in the future these are going to be the people who are going to someday lead our military for generations to come. Some of them may be future general officers from our group here today. Of this class, you have to look at what our nation is engaged in. Our military is stretched worldwide, where you have 3 commitments that they're currently engaged in, and so these students, when they graduate, they are going to be going into service of our country, probably many of them overseas. The majority of our graduates go on to become pilots. I guess there is some sort of perception out there that perhaps this generation compared to prior generations is perhaps not living up to expectations. I will tell you from our experience in the students that we've interacted with, we've really been overwhelmed by the credentials and the motivation that we have of these students, and we have a lot of confidence in the tasks they're about to enter into serving in the academy, the enormous investment our nation's making in them so that they can go on and be future leaders of our military afterwards.
When you think of what these young people have gone through in order to reach the pinnacle, if you will, of their high school education and then being appointed to the academy, you're amazed because you don't hear about them so often in the press. They don't get the recognition that they deserve. You hear about all the other ones that have fallen by the wayside. And I know that the parents feel extremely proud of them. Some of them are worried about them, and I've used the term many times, it's as though you're taking the cloth. It's a completely different world that they're going into. After a while, they're going to get used to it. It's a very, very proud feeling you have. It's hard to put into words at times. It just sort of builds up inside of you. And it's taken a while for myself, and I think for the other officers that are involved in this. There's a sense of though you're accomplishing something. The people that you're bringing in to replace yourself are dedicated. They've got that fire in the belly, if I use a term, that will make them good officers. And I think you'll find if you question any of these young men and women in here, there's a sense of apprehension. No matter how much we tell them about it, no matter how much they see in the movies and so on, up until the point they cross that yellow line out at Colorado Springs, I have no idea at all what's in for them. And I think this is extremely important, especially in today's world where this country cannot afford to have substandard performers anywhere in its operations. I don't know, I just feel proud to be part of this team.
They have the character, they have the motivation, they have the leadership qualities that we're looking for. That's what makes them stand out above the rest. They're able to articulate their qualities.
I've always had really good grades, so academics aren't much of a challenge, but the physical requirements are more of a challenge for me. I remember I did the CFAs a year ago and I didn't do too well on them, so I worked really hard on my physical conditioning and I eventually was able to pass the CFA. So for me it was conditioning, and then my academics stood out for me too.
I have a pretty high grades, and I play varsity soccer and varsity basketball throughout high school, and I'm pretty involved in my community and like church and stuff. Well, I've always been playing sports all my life, and I love the whole aspect of a team, which is part of the reason why I want to go to the military, because you always have that camaraderie, you always have that team, and I've always had that in my life, and it's just something that like really motivates me, and it's just something I really enjoy having.
I'm a Civil Air Patrol. I also I applied very early. I had all my applications done by the summer. In September, I had the recommendations. I sent that in. And I received word before Christmas from the Air Force Academy that I was accepted. And I had a lot of extracurricular activities. I played soccer. I was a captain freshman year, and that helped.
Yeah, other than grades, I just tried to do my best in the sports that I was in and tried to do extracurricular activities as much as possible. I was a lifeguard. I worked with special needs kids in my high school and outside of high school, so that was most of the stuff that I did.
My entire career will be dedicated to doing the best job that I can for this great nation and its people, and no matter what job I end up doing, I will do it 100%, 110%. I will do it to the best and greatest of my abilities. So
I'm excited to serve my country because the United States is a great country, and I've always loved my country. I'm pretty patriotic.
What stands out is their leadership, their character, and their commitment to serve their nation. These are exceptionally intelligent young men and women who serve their communities after school, who participate in extracurricular activities, whether it's presidents of clubs, school organizations, and many of them are also outstanding athletes. They represent the holistic person, their ability to do many different things and do them well. And that's what the academies are looking for. Young men and women that not only understand the importance of academics, but are willing to take the challenge and live up to the honor code that separates them from many others in terms of their ability to be honest and their willingness to serve. And in this day and age, when so many young men and women are concerned about entitlements, these are the people that are willing to take the risk, make the sacrifice for selfless service. And in the long run, our country will be far better off with these types of individuals when it's their turn to lead this nation. They're going to have to pull up their bootstraps. They're going to have to knuckle under. They're going to find the challenge difficult each day, but they'll persevere because these are exceptional young men and women who wanted the challenge. And indeed, they will be challenged, but they'll be better for it in the end.
In Jericho, Chris Collora reporting.